I've loaded the Navisworks file which I originally saved in Revit, and I've loaded it by going into Open and into the Through building, as you saw there, in WC file. And now I have it here, and I need to select the basement. And in order to select the basement, what I've done is I've gone into the selection tree here, and you can see here I'm clicking on the basement, and it's now selected here. You can see it's gone into blue, and I'm going to unhide all the unselected parts. Now I have the basement, and I can now further select items in the basement. For example, if I look at the floor here, click on the floor, there is a floor here, and if I look at it underneath, there's a thermal insulation. I'm just going to use a cube here to kind of flip it over so you can see the insulation and polystyrene layer. That's the first thing I'll put down, and afterwards then I would select the concrete. So once I've chosen this as the very first thing to put down into my construction, then I can go into sets. If I go here and under the Home tab and go into sets, I can open the manager here, and I can save the selection. In this case, I've already I think saved this selection. I'm just going to save the selection here, and I'm going to rename it, and I'm going to call it polystyrene layer under floor. As you can see, I have saved it now under this name. I renamed it by right clicking and renaming there. And I'm just going to go back into my tree again, and I'm going to choose the next item, and this could, for example, be something to do with walls. I just want to break this down a bit. Sorry, I need to actually go further and take down the rest of the floor. I need the concrete layer on the floor. So I've selected it here. So I go into my sets again, my manage sets, and I save the selection, and I rename it again as concrete top floor in basement. Having done that, I hit enter. I can then proceed to choose the other parts of the elements. The next thing I would put in there would be these columns and the big columns around here, so I have something to support my walls against. So I would choose those in my basement. So I go into structural columns, and here you can see I have open structural columns. And if I click on these, you get all the the whole grouping of columns in that basement that are 30 times 30 centimeters. And if I wanted every individual one, I could pick one individually. For example, this one here, which is on the side here, on the north side. I just want to take these as a group, so I'm just going to choose this one so I have them all. And then again, go into my sets, and I can paste the selection here and rename it 3030 columns, which I've done here, and I hit enter. So I would choose all the things in the basement, and that's what you'll see next. But before I do that, I just want to save this, so I have it as a specific name. Here I'm going to write number 1 as my first attempt at saving this as a Navisworks file here. So I'll find a special place to save it. Now I've gone into the walls of the basement. As you can see, this is the whole wall of the basement here, and I just want to break this up into small parts. So I obviously go down into here, and I click on each individual part. Now one of the first things I do is do this circular wall here section, and perhaps then this one here, and then this one and this one, and so on. So I've now chosen it, so I can well, basically I can go in like this and choose it there, you can see, and I can go into my sets again, and I can put it in as different parts of the basement wall. So this would be save selection, rename it as north facing circular wall. Then I'm going to take these generic walls, I'm going to take them all as one. I could actually break them down into each portion, but I'm not going to bother with that. If I wanted to break them down, I'd go in and break them down, for example like this, where you have this part and then this part and so on. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to, for the sake of this video, I'm going to just take the whole two as one process, which is going to be put in here as shaft walls around staircase and elevator. As you can see, I've already taken these long walls here and the circular walls, they're all written down here. So the next thing is to put out the insulation. So I'm going to find the insulation here, and I've got it here as asphalt insulation. This has been moved, but the asphalt is actually behind, is between the, I think you can just see a faint, if we click on here you can see a faint, if I choose the asphalt now, you can see a faint blue line there, and that indicates the asphalt between the two. It's a process, so I'm going to take this as one process. So I'm going to go into my select here, and I'm going to write it down here, save that selection once it's made. I haven't made it yet. I have done so now, so I will save the selection here in this as asphalt, and there it is. Finally, I'm going to choose the actual insulation around on top of the asphalt around the basement wall. I can take each wall on its own, as you can see here, and save them as a selection. The last thing I will do is to choose the stairs. I'm just going to choose both of these stairs as one, and I'm going to put them in my sets as a selection here. So I'm going to save this as staircases. And that concludes this video of selection of sets.